So we're here today to talk about this, the Apple Watch Series 5. Now, in terms of the watch itself, it's a marginal upgrade over the Series 4, but it brings with it one game-changing feature, but it also brings with it one game-changing takeaway. Let's talk about if it's worth it or not. But before we can focus on what makes the Apple Watch Series 5 really good, but also one part of it that's not really good, let's talk about how the Series 5 differentiates itself from the Series 4 now that Apple killed the Apple Watch Series 4. Rest in peace, Series 4. You will be missed. Starting off with a new feature that impacted me the least, and that's the key takeaway here, it's all based on how you're gonna use it, is the new Compass application. Now yeah, it is built into the watch itself. You access it just like you do any other application, pushing the digital crown, finding the little compass circle in the huge blob of circles, and it'll show you some pretty neat things like your latitude, your longitude, your elevation, and your incline, and obviously it'll show you what direction you're facing. Now for someone like myself who doesn't really go hiking or have any use for an actual compass, I don't see this as something really, really cool. But that's not to say that someone out there won't see it as really cool. So it's, I guess, good to see, but I didn't have much use for it. This improvement is also marginal at best, at least for me, but there is a new processor on board. So with the Series 4, you had your S4 processor, and with the Series 5, you have your S5 processor, getting real creative with the processor names. Now, obviously, with a newer processor, you should see things like improved battery life or improved performance, and sometimes you'll even see both combined, but the performance difference is marginal at best. I had a Series 4 for basically a year, and switching over to the Series 5, I haven't really noticed a big boost in performance, but that's not taking away anything from the watch because the Series 4 performs really, really well. Actually, every watch since basically Series 3 has performed really well. So yeah, better processor, but not really seeing much of a bump in performance. But I will say this, the newer processor is welcome, especially considering this watch will need as many battery saving measures as possible once we get to that game-changing feature. So the Apple Watch Series 5 actually comes with more storage compared to the Series 4, and for a lot of people, myself included, especially if you're going to save songs on your watch, that's a big thing. So the Series 5 comes by default with 32 gigs of storage, which is twice the amount that you find on the Series 4, which is 16. Now, like I said, if you're the type of person like myself who uses your watch a lot for working out or maybe going running without your phone, you can use your watch to pair it to a pair of Bluetooth headphones, and you can download a whole bunch of songs onto your watch so you can still listen to your music without having your phone nearby and without having to invest the extra money in a cellular watch just so you have an active data connection to stream music. So yeah, increased storage. That's kind of a big one. Now, for the biggest game changer of the Apple Watch Series 5, and I gotta say, for a lot of Apple Watch fans out there, we've really been waiting for this. It is an always-on display. So yeah, Apple finally found a way to incorporate the Apple Watch to have its display on all the time throughout the day without killing the battery. Now, they developed this new display technology in-house, and it's only available on the Series 5, and it is hardware-based. So unfortunately, none of the other models before it can get it via a software update. You have to go out and buy the Series 5. Now, they're doing this using a new display technology that they're calling LTPO, or low temperature polycrystalline oxide. LTPO. Sounds like a great value version of C3PO. Now, I'm not gonna go into all the specifics of exactly how this type of display technology works. Just know that it's hardware based, and essentially how Apple is able to create the always-on experience is by using a display that has a variable refresh rate, which is something that we've seen now on a lot of smartphones that are coming out. So for example, the OnePlus 7 Pro and the upcoming Google Pixel 4 utilize a variable refresh rate display technology. Basically means the phone can either upscale or downscale its refresh rate based on what it's doing. So the watch does the same thing. When it's on, it has a standard 60 Hertz refresh rate, which is normal. But when the watch goes into always on mode, or basically when it's down at your wrist, or it's just not fully lit up, it can go down as far as 1 Hertz, which is 1 refresh per second. Now you'll notice this in a lot of activities while you're using the watch. So for example, if you're using a watch face that has a continuous second hand, when you go into always on mode, that second hand will disappear. The screen can't refresh itself enough to continuously display the moving second hand. If you're doing a workout with the watch, normally the workouts are displayed as minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. But when you go into always on mode, the milliseconds disappear and it only goes up by minutes and seconds because the watch can refresh its display enough to keep showing you based on seconds, but it can't do it with milliseconds. So they were able to pull it off, but there is one key takeaway, and that's the battery life. So I was a bit skeptical when Apple said that the new Watch Series 5 manages to have an always-on display while maintaining the same battery life that was on the Series 4, which, full disclosure, the Series 4 gets really, really good battery life. I mean, outside of you running a consistent 24-hour workout on that watch and it needing to track your heart rate the whole time, that's easily a 2-day watch in terms of battery. The Series 5 is not a 2-day watch in terms of battery. So a little bit of backstory with my battery life in terms of the Watch Series 4 and the Watch Series 5. So let's go back to the Series 4. I would take that watch off charge every day at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I would take it through a full 9 hours of work, take it through a full 1.5 hour workout after work, put it on charge roughly 11 p.m., sometimes 11:15, some nights even later. And the majority of the time when I'm putting it on charge, I have at least 50% battery left while keeping it off charge for that extended period of time. Now my usage has not changed since the Series 5. I still take it off charge every morning at 7, run it through a 9-hour workday, an hour-and-a-half workout every single day, and I put it on charge roughly around the same time every single night before I go to bed. The only difference is now instead of sitting at about 50% battery, I'm sitting at about 30% battery or less. Now, I do utilize the always on display consistently throughout the day. I don't ever turn it off to save battery. I have it on consistently throughout the day, every single day. It's the whole reason why I bought the Series 5. So just understand that you'll be able to get through a full day even with relatively heavy usage, like being off charge for 14 hours and also having a 1.5 hour workout every single day. But if you are the type of person who wakes up early but also stays up really late through the night, you may end up killing it before the night is over. So I would suggest in those situations either charging it while you're getting ready to go out and do something, or just spend a few hours of the day turning off the always on display feature in order to save yourself some battery life in that respect. And obviously if you run this watch with always on display turned off all the time, it'll have just as good as battery life as the Series 4. But then again, if you do that, you should just stick to your Series 4. So that brings us to the question, should you upgrade to the Apple Watch Series 5? And with a lot of other products, I would say it depends on what you currently have. So let's just talk about the watch itself. The Apple Watch Series 5 is a fantastic smartwatch, but then again, the Apple Watch has been a fantastic smartwatch for like the last 3 years at least, and it's in a segment where it really has hardly any competition, considering the fact that Android Wear through Google is almost essentially non-existent right now, and the closest competition is Samsung's line, but that again keeps you towards a Samsung phone. So essentially no competition in terms of this smartwatch realm. And understand that the Watch Series 5 starts at a price of $399 or $429 for either the 40mm or the 44mm GPS model, and add $100 to each of those prices if you want to throw in cellular. Add even more to those prices if you want a specialty enclosure like titanium, ceramic, or even the Hermes model, which can take you well over $1,000. This is a really expensive smartwatch. Even the entry sets you back $400. I would say you should upgrade if maybe you have a Series 1 or 2, or maybe even a 3. If you have a Series 4 and you can live without that always on display, it's not worth your money. You should probably wait until the Series 6. But if you're like me and you've absolutely been waiting for the always on display, sell your Series 4 or 3 or trade it into Apple if you really want to make it easy on yourself and spring the extra cash for the Series 5. You're not going to be disappointed if you buy it, but I understand if you don't, because it is a really, really expensive smartwatch at the end of the day. So that just about does it for our review, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, I know you guys are thinking about it. Yes, we are getting the new Pixel 4s in studio. We're like, 6 days away from those things being delivered. And I got a surprise for you. We do have the orange color coming in. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you guys are notified as soon as we upload the unboxing for that phone, because you will not want to miss it. That color is epic. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. and it shows you some pretty neat things: your latitude, your longitude, your elevation, and also